Hey guys, Sam here, welcome back to a brand new Pokemon Duel video. Today I have a very nice and hyped Ultra Beast versus Ultra Beast deck. However, I am going to face a deck with a Shiny Rayquaza. If you are obviously familiar with the game, you will know that it is pretty much a 100, well maybe not 100%, but a really hard counter to the Ultra Beast decks. And I'm going to stop this right here just so we can analyze this a little bit more. So as you can see, I have a Celesteela, 2 Formosas, Nihilego, Koko, and the Mega Ampharos, and I am running a double chance long throw Gold Block, Mighty Sphere, and Ampharosite. Thinking about switching the Mighty Sphere for another double chance because I don't get to use it that often, and even when I get the the chance to get some cheeky surrounds, well, it really does make a huge difference. But I'm just better off sending stuff to the Ultra Space if I have the chance, if there's no Shiny Rayquaza. My opponent here is running the Shiny Ray, and it is actually a chain level 10, really scary, also level 10. The Aggron to counter some of the running cheese. It has a Shaman, as well as Celesteela and 2 Formosas. Now, I played this game yesterday, and it's still kind of fresh in my mind, and I still have some videos coming up for you guys where I use my Ultra Beast decks. So what's going to happen here is that I am going to open up with Koko. Now, if I go against another Ultra Beast deck, I like to open with Koko instead of long throwing Celesteela right away, because number one, the enemy can have can have, either Terrakion or Aggron, and it could potentially screw up your cheesy surround kills. So I kind of open with Koko just to wait to see what my opponent does, and so I can actually play according to it. Even if you have the same deck, this goes for as long as the game runs or whatever. The person with the better board setup is going to win, no matter the circumstances, no matter chain levels. I mean, they actually help a lot, but that's kind of the point. So, open with Koko, my opponent opens with the Aggron, just so I am not able to go for the entry space right away. Then I go for the Nihilego. I like to, just put it up to whatever figure it encounters, because losing it to whatever is actually pretty good, since, it can go to the Ultra Space and you can get some Celesteela, Pheromosa cheeses with it. Also, it is a pretty good counter to a lot of white attacks. If it gets the white tentacles, it can you can gain control of the enemy figure, and if it gets the stun poison, that is a whopping 6 weight, so that's pretty good. My opponent then opens with the not opens, but throws a Shiny Rayquaza, and that for me is kind of a good matchup, since most of my wheel is blue. However, most of this video I want to focus on Pheromosas, which are actually the best counter to Shiny Rayquaza, which, as you can see by the title, we'll see what happens. What I want to focus on is not going to happen in this game because I didn't have the chance to pull it off, but let's see how this thing rolls. Okay. So I put up the Celesteela right there, and I don't really have anything to fear with the Celesteela. So check it out. I'm going to stop it right here. So what happens is that my opponent put the Celesteela up. Now it has 2 MP because of the Shaman, since it's on the bench, and right away he puts the Celesteela right here on the entry space. So what I'm thinking is that he obviously wants to go for the entry point and do the surround cheese. So my next best play is going to be, and I'm going to only play 2 turns to show you what I mean here, is that if I put my Pheromosa right here, remember that the Celesteela's ability can only throw your or the opponent's figure 3 spaces away from where Celesteela is. So that can be 1, 2, or 3. It can be, either here between the Rayquaza and my Nihilego. It could potentially be where my Nihilego is, however, that's occupied, and I decide to put my Pheromosa on my entry space because that is where most likely the enemy is going to send his Pheromosa to, do the cheese and, to double chance whatever I decide to put on the goal. Mostly going to be, well, was going to be the Tapu Koko. However, I decide to put it here just to play it safe, and even if he throws the Pheromosa to either here or that's the only place where it has. It can't really do a lot, since my blue is, has a higher chance of landing than his blue. Even though that's not, that great of a deal. So let's go ahead and continue this replay. It's actually pretty nice. I go for the double chance because right here I want to get the flame gun, and let's see if I actually get it. If I get my white, that's okay, I get a KO. But what I'm looking for right here is the flame gun, which I thankfully land, and 2 of the figures are going to get straight to the to the entry space. So next, what he does is, actually pretty strategical, or, okay, I guess. He decides to put the Aggron right there, and I land my blue. However, he is not going to go to the Ultra Space because of the Shiny Rayquaza. Now, I'm trying to bring back my Celesteela right here by landing my own blue, and let's see what happens. Okay, so he gets the fly. Right here, I am a little bit scared because he is one step away from my entry, not from the entry, from the goal. And since there's no, Ultra Beast cheese to go right here, I'm kind of feeling okay. Stop right here. Okay. So I'm not feeling too bad because my Coco, as you can see, has everything maxed out to the blue, and even if I get the white, it can, as long as the Rayquaza doesn't land the, the fearsome 150 yellow, I'm feeling pretty okay. Now he sends his own Celesteela to the Ultra Space because now the Nihilego is going to have +4 MP. Now let's see what I do here. So I do that. I put my Pheromosa, and I think I said Nihilego instead of Pheromosa, but see, he goes for the attack. I go like, please don't land, and he actually lands the attack, which is pretty sad. So looking back at it, I could have potentially put my Pheromosa here on the entry space just to kind of buy a turn. And see what could have done, but I was kind of feeling not okay with it. I still have a gold block to burn as well as a long throw just if anything happens, so that was kind of going to be the plan. However, I just decided to open with the Pheromosa to see what could potentially happen. So let's see, I go for the playback, and I am going to use the gold block with my Nihilego since it has the best survivability there is. I'm going to pause here for a couple of minutes because I want to talk about this. So, okay, I put the Nihilego, and I get the worst roll, which is my purple into the Rayquaza white. So what happens here is that, basically the title of this video is Pheromosa in an Ultra Beast deck is the best counter to Shiny Rayquaza, because let's look at the wheel. Okay, so you have 150, well, typically 140. Yellow, you have a 60 and a 3-star purple. If you see the Pheromosa, it has the 103, the 67, and the call signal. Simply put, if you attack the Shiny Rayquaza with the Pheromosa, unless you hit or miss, there's, pretty much nothing that can go wrong for you unless there's other figures in the vicinity to, kind of help out the Rayquaza. What do I mean by this? If you land Call Signal, nothing on Rayquaza's wheel is going to be able to counter that, and if you have something in the Ultra Space, it is going to bring it back to, hopefully get a nice surrounded cheese, in this case, which is going to be my Nihilego. If you land the low sweep, it is going, well, and if the Shiny Rayquaza lands the yellow, it is going to make it a 0 MP, so if there are no enemy figures around, that is going to be super nice because obviously you are not going to, have that thing move, and especially if it's on your side of the board, that's basically having one of the figures hostage, so that's pretty nice. And obviously if you land the 103 into the 60, well, that's going to result into a KO. The fly, it's not really going to do a lot. Now, if the Shiny Rayquaza is in range of your goal, if it lands the fly, then that's obviously going to be a problem. So make sure to kind of take a little responsibility with this move. And obviously, if you land the 67, you are going to beat the break energy as well as freezing the Rayquaza if you land the 150. So, well, if he lands the 150. So that's pretty much the best figure that you can have against the Rayquaza. The Nihilego is also pretty nice because you basically hold that figure hostage, so that's pretty nice. Celesteela is a pretty bad matchup. Obviously it can't send it to the Ultra Space, and both the 137s are not really going to be that useful, plus it's not even going to be a 137 since the Celesteela is only 1 MP. So let's see what I do here. I go for the attack on the Pheromosa, and from the Pheromosa, and this is one of the things that I told you about since, you land the low sweep into the 150, that is obviously going to mean that the Rayquaza is going to have 0 MP. However, because of the Pheromosa and the Pokemon on the Ultra Space are going to be there, or, whatever, the Pheromosa is going to be able to tag him and go back to 1 MP. Thankfully, I land the call signal, bring my Nihilego back, and see what he wants to do. So right now he wants to go for the call signal cheese, just so we can get that triple surround and the game is going to be over. However, thankfully I land my own call signal, and he doesn't land his own. You know, he goes for the low sweep once again, which is actually pretty lucky for me. So I decide to cover just in case he goes for the call signal once again, just so he has, you know, his Celesteela back. Now I didn't see that he had the Mega Aggron plate, or, you know, the figure itself, right here, which makes things a little bit more difficult. So I go for, well, he goes for the attack, and we get the double blue, which, you know, is obviously going to be pretty, you know, helpful, I guess, to kind of stall one of the turns for the Mega Aggron. So what I do here is that, you know, I just kind of hope for, you know, for the best when it comes to this one. Here, my Pheromosa gets super lucky and lands the fly. I go for the entry space. Well, you know, I go towards the entry space. Okay, so check it out. If you were on my opponent's position, what would you have done if it wasn't moving the Shaman to the goal? The better option, you know, from the past would have been to just attack the I forgot the name, even though it's right there, the Ampharos, because it's the only thing that I can use to bring things back to the, you know, to the field. And since I don't have any max revives, you know, and if my Ampharos is, you know, is gone, you know, that could have pretty much been GG. My opponent, however, decided to bet everything on the Rayquaza landing something to knock out the Pheromosa, and it was going to be mostly game, because then I would have had my you know, my Nihilego there alone, and I would have had to land some miraculous roll, you know, the Nihilego versus the Shiny Rayquaza, and even if I did, the Aggron is still here. So this is a godlike play, because now I am in full control of this match. So what I'm going to do right there is that I'm going to use my Ampharocytes, because what happens here is that I'm going to bring back my Pheromosa right there on the entry space, and I am going to go for that Shaman. Now this is a great roll for me. I mean, there's only 8 to miss on my, you know, on my thing. And even if I miss, so by the way, here, okay, let's go ahead and stop it right here. Well, even though I can't because it's already forfeit. Even if he had goal, or, you know, even if I didn't land that, you know, that attack, it was pretty much game over. So, see how I didn't even KO the Rayquaza, and I was still able to pull off the win. Super nice, super great. So yeah, that was a pretty really good match that I wanted to show you guys. Going to clickbait the fuck out of this video, obviously, just so I can show this to you guys, to, you know, kind of make some really nice guide. I still have some videos for you guys coming up. I think I recorded 4 more videos with my Ultra Beast deck, which, you know, since they are still in the meta, I am still going to upload. It's not like, you know, I'm uploading a versus Deoxys deck in 2018, so that's pretty nice. So yeah, that's pretty much it. We have a new, I guess, banner or update coming June 1st, which is going to be I guess the Mega Houndoom and Mega Lucario, which is going to be pretty hype. I think I'm going to buy, you know, those gem deals, and I'm going to do like a 10,000 gem opening, because it looks like that booster or or those banners even are going to be super nice. So thank you guys very much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Have a great day. We'll see you next time, or whatever. I always have to make my outros awkward, but bye.